All right. I'd like to welcome everyone to our Historic Landmarks Commission meeting. This meeting is held via Zoom conference call due to the COVID crisis. Members of the public may participate by following the instructions on the agenda. The next item 5, which is general business. And our first item is A, additions to the historic resource inventory. I just have a very quick comment to make, and I'll turn it over to you, Dana. But this is a list which includes 19 properties which have been waiting decades to be added to the historic resource inventory. I couldn't be more proud and happy that each one, and particularly I'll name 2 of them, the Cesar Chavez home and Sacred Heart Church. But I am just thrilled that this is part of our agenda tonight, and I turn it over to you, Dana, for background on each of these properties.
Thank you, Chair Boehm. Just a quick summary. This item advances the 2017 San Jose City Council policy on the historic survey strategy, which directed staff to proactively identify historic resources and to update the historic resources inventory to allow the city to preserve more historic structures. Properties are generally identified through public and private projects, analyzed in an environmental review process, publications, and historic surveys and context statements. The properties currently proposed to be added to the HRI to implement the council direction were identified by Ben Leach, Executive Director of PAC-SJ. However, they were independently reviewed and concurrence was provided, and they are recommended for inclusion in the HRI by the Historic Preservation Officer. The staff report in attachment 3 outlines and describes those identified properties. And that's all I have. The properties and their sources and a summary of their significance is outlined in the staff report.
So I'll go ahead and ask for questions or comments from our commission, starting with Commissioner Camuso.
I reviewed the list and I was thrilled as you are. I didn't realize that this was pending for so many years, but I looked at each and every address and property, and other than the Cesar Chavez homes, which I didn't initially, because I just had a list of the addresses, and then I went back and did a little bit more research online. I didn't know what the significance of the 2 small little bungalows really was. But anyway, I agree with every one of these, and I'm thrilled, especially Sacred Heart Church, which is another jewel of San Jose.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Well, this is wonderful. I want to thank Dana for her work. I want to thank PAC-SJ. It's just incredible. And the fact that you added very quickly Cesar Chavez's home. And I just think that, because I've got that part of the goals, I'm just excited, as well as the church. So you can see my excitement. I'm really happy. Thank you.
She's doing her little happy dance over there. Any other further comments? Otherwise, we'll go to public comment. And the first person I see is Paul Soto. Paul, let's wait for that clock to get on the screen and you'll be able to talk.
Yes, Paul Soto from the Horseshoe. I want to thank Dana for the work that she does. I've been working with her office for the past couple of years. And so thank you for accepting this on behalf of the Chicano community. I'd also like to thank PAC and especially Ben Leach. He has been a very, very good consultant, a very, very good friend. And without him, we wouldn't have this portion of this particular meeting. So I want to extend my gratitude to PAC and Ben Leach and Mike. The significance of establishing the building that produced the first issue of Lowrider is extremely significant to preserving the integrity, the dignity, and of the Chicano experience as we experienced, and in the spaces and places where it was actually created. And so that is the significance, the cultural significance of protecting these buildings where the lowrider movement was marketed to the world. And we still see the reverberations today. Just look at a car rolling by and you see the artistic and creative expression of the sons and daughters of campesinos of all of the camps along California, in particular Salsipuedes, which is where my father is from. Secondly, the significance of Sacred Heart Church. I'm from that barrio. I grew up right around the block from Sacred Heart Church. My brother was married in that church in 1995. Father Antonio Soto convened something that was called the Council of Priests in 1965. Father Antonio Soto was the first Mexican priest ever ordained in Santa Clara County since 1846. From 1846 to 1965, there was never, ever a Mexican priest until Father Antonio Soto. He is the founder of Guadalupe Church. He convened the Council of Priests there at Sacred Heart Church, and that is what lent it its significance to legitimize the history of the Chicano experience and the Chicano movement as articulated through the priesthood. So I'd like to thank you all for considering this, and viva la causa.
Thank you, Paul. Okay, our next speaker will be Ben Leach. Ben, when the clock is reset, you can unmute and begin speaking.
Thank you, Ben Leach, Preservation Action Council of San Jose. I will be brief. I really want to appreciate the recognition that this is an important and ongoing exercise, that there is a reason that this is a council direction to continue to add to the historic resources inventory, and we are happy to be able to contribute towards that cause. I'm hoping Dana can speak to the concerns about individual property owners who have, I think, reasonable concerns about what this means. And I hope that it's clear that just being on the historic resources inventory does not obligate any work and is alone not a mechanism for any regulation. It's simply recognition that this is historic fabric that contributes to a sense of place in the community. And this list was compiled from a few sources. One of them were previous historic reports that looked at certain commercial corridors like East Santa Clara. Others came out organically from conversations with neighborhood stakeholders like Paul Soto, who I think is rightly concerned that the kinds of things that we are identifying are not always speaking to the true and diverse significance of the history of our city. And so I'm actually really excited that this is an ongoing effort of both compiling known resources and identifying new resources that that are going to continue to shape what we consider to be historic and significant. So thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Our next speaker will be Lorraine. When you see the clock reset, Lorraine, you may begin speaking. Unmute yourself and begin speaking.
Hi, good evening. This is Lorraine Quinones, and I'm calling out of the East Los Angeles area. And I am calling in support of Mr. Soto, who already spoke and summed everything up nicely. And the commission here sounds like they're all on board. So I won't take up too much of your time. The address I'd like to speak on specifically is 282 Willow Street, the original Lowrider magazine headquarters. This is a significant building to not only all lowriders and people like myself who are cruisers and owners of classic vehicles and lowriders, but also to the area of San Jose, which has been a big part of the lowrider community. So I would like to just echo the words that have been shared in the preservation of 282 Willow Street and honoring the history and legacy that it has led for so many of us. We look to places like this for cultural identity, for cultural embracement, and celebrating our culture amongst Mexican Americans. And so this building actually was noted as being founded by let's see here. Then and now, let's see, predominantly working class, right? Conceived a collective memory for the Mexican diaspora across the Mexican West and Southwest. So I did some research. The magazine was instrumental in promoting and celebrating lowrider culture while also addressing issues of Mexican American media representation. Also police misconduct and equity in the justice system and other issues of political and social importance. So it had a humble beginning in 1977, and it just grew from there, and we still talk about it today. So thank you so much for noting this building.
Okay, thank you, Lorraine. Our next speaker is Flavio Cesar. Flavio, when you see the clock, it's been set, so you can unmute and begin speaking.
All righty. Hi, how you doing there today? My name is Flavio Cesar. I am a member of the Sacramento Lowrider Commission and the chair of the California Lowrider Alliance. And I'm here to speak on the address there on Willow. You know, the Chicano experience is huge. You know, when we look at things that are going on in California right now, with the removing of ordinances, as you removed your ordinance there in San Jose, not that long ago, we removed ours in Sacramento, you know, at the just a month before you guys did. And currently there's a huge movement throughout California to remove these ordinances. And one of the things that we're here speaking about is lowriding. Lowrider magazine, the Willow Street there, you got to understand that to the Chicanos, to the Latinos, to us, lowriding is an expression of our culture and of our community. And lowriding magazine started there. You know, the birth, right? San Jose is known as the birthplace of lowriding, of much of the lowriding, and this magazine was an expression of our culture throughout, all through California and Arizona and New Mexico. And so for us, as we're moving forward and as we're, you know, doing the things that we need to do, we want to make sure that the places where our experience, where the Chicano experience and the lowriding experience impacted our lives, that they're preserved. And so we're here in support of Paul Soto and the things that you're doing, and we appreciate all the things that he's doing, and just want you to be able to just, you know, preserve these places, you know, preserve these places that reflect the Chicano experience. And so I just want to thank everything you're doing, and I thank Paul for what he's doing, and also the San Jose Lowrider Council, David Polanco, for all he's doing in the community there. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Flavio. Our next speaker will be David Polanco.
Hello, my name is David Polanco. I'm a resident of San Jose for 53 years. I'm a local union electrician and president of the United Lowrider Council of San Jose. You know, everybody's reflecting pretty much how I feel, but I'm calling today in favor of designating the early location Lowrider magazine as a historical location. I believe it represents the ingenuity and the groundbreaking things that come out of Silicon Valley. Lowrider magazine not only introduced the culture locally, but it eventually globally it did. And it's not just Chicanos, you know, it's multicultural now, and it's reached so many people, and people have embraced the culture. It has put San Jose on the map, you know, throughout the years. And currently, you know, San Jose is known, as previously stated, as one of the pillars of the lowrider culture and world. This would be a good step forward in preserving the lowrider culture of San Jose, you know, and I'm excited that it's gotten this far, and I hope it continues. And thank you for this opportunity to speak to you guys. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, David. Our next speaker will be Jerry Thompson. When you see the clock reset, I invite you to unmute and begin speaking.
Hi, thank you. I'm Jerry Thompson from Modesto Cruisers Council, and I agree with Soto and Flavio. Anything historical is always a positive thing, and the Hispanic community preservation of the building for Lowrider magazine is a very great start. Recognition of Cesar Chavez's house is a wonderful thing, because the younger generations, and I'm not talking about our generation, I'm talking about generations 30, 40, 50, 100 years from now, that will see those structures and they'll see those plaques and they'll get to read about the historical significance they have in their culture, because some of those kids will be Hispanics, some will be Caucasians, some will be blacks, but they will see the past history that we currently live, that we may not be around to continue to show them that history. So I'm glad that it's on the list. I'm glad the other buildings that you have are on the list, because the lowrider community is part of our culture here in California. It's the ground zero for it to spread across the nation and around the world. We have lowriders in Japan. There's lowriders in Australia. So San Jose, I think it's great that you guys are preserving these buildings for that reason, because as I said, the younger generation, they may not know it, but once you preserve those historical monuments and those structures, they will learn it. Thank you.
Next speaker will be Christina Romero. When it's reset to 2, I'll let you unmute and begin speaking.
Hi, my name is Christina Romero. I am from the Los Angeles Lowrider community. Also have ties to San Jose. I lived there 40 years ago for a couple of years. Because of Lowrider magazine and because of the cruising movement that San Jose is so famously known for, and has been lucky enough to have organizations or things like Lowrider magazine that is headquartered there, Cesar Chavez's house. There's so much cultural significance to those two places that really speak volumes about our culture. And so lowriding, again, ditto everything everybody said, but lowriding is a very special activity and passion that many people in San Jose and across the state share. And it would be, Lowrider magazine is kind of a pillar of that, is, a magazine that highlighted the beauty of these cars and this culture for so long, and just made such historical, gave us a big historical reference and recognition to be, the word I'm trying to use is to be celebrated for years and years to come. And so to be able to preserve this building, to be able to preserve the location, and hopefully at some point it can be made into some kind of small museum setting or something that would showcase the lowrider culture and the San Jose culture and everything else that it contributed, would be awesome. So we support Paul Soto and the making this a historical building or location, and we hope that the council makes that happen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Christina. Our next speaker is Ricardo Cortez. You may go ahead.
Hey, thank you. My name is Ricardo Cortez. I'm a San Jose native, an artist out here in San Jose, living and working in San Jose, and also a new member of the San Jose Lowrider Council. San Jose is always overlooked for its instrumental role in spearheading lowrider culture across the globe. Our historical murals, dating back to the 60s and 70s, have been erased from the walls that permeate San Jose. And this year specifically, San Jose has witnessed a reawakening on full display our beautiful lowrider culture. So for this building to be ratified as a historical landmark goes to show how important this building and the meaning behind it is to the very fabric of San Jose. It cannot be erased, and it should be preserved for future generations as a cornerstone to our local community and its significance across the United States and the globe. Thank you.
Thank you, Ricardo. Our next speaker will be Mike Sodergren. And when it's reset, Mike, please unmute and begin speaking.
Thank you. Mike Sodergren, Preservation Action Council. I just want to comment, first of all, PAC fights every day for the preservation of affordable housing, which is often contained within historic buildings. And so I clearly understand the concerns of the member of the public with getting an identification of an identified structure, but hopefully there'll be a better understanding of how good this is for the preservation of affordable housing. These additions today are just fantastic. I love my city. I love the diversity of my city. I am so glad I raised my kids here so they know every culture, they know every way of life, and they've seen such great things. I see these buildings as the backdrop for telling our whole story, not just the story that is pretty, but the whole story. This is how we learn to love and respect one another. And I'm so proud of this moment in time. And I just want to thank you, Dana, for picking up this baton and running with it. Thank you very much.
Mark, we'll wait for the clock to reset. And you can unmute. And you can begin speaking.
Thank you. First of all, my name is Mark Sarmento. I'm a resident, longtime resident, 50 years of San Jose. I am the publisher, owner of Impala's magazine, Impala's Tour, which we are very grateful for the house that is being committed and inducted as a landmark, the house on Willow 282, where Lowrider magazine started. Just like everyone else commented, we have a lot of roots, especially in San Jose, as far as the lowrider community. We've been graced by having people and founders of the Lowrider magazine start what they started. And just, it's honor just to be able to say that the roots are deep here in San Jose when it comes to lowriding, and the culture is still alive after 45 years and still doing and speaking on what we've always been having here in our hometown, being born and raised here in San Jose, knowing that something that's global started here in San Jose and still respected worldwide in different countries is just a huge success and inspiration to the young Jew, especially the young generation. Lowriding, like everyone says, it's an art that we put on 4 wheels, 2 wheels, and we express ourselves through our cars, our motorcycles, and just like a canvas, just like a painter, we like to show our cars and motorcycles and arts that we put together. So it's a big honor to be able to know that the main office that started a global magazine is still going to be recognized as a historical landmark.
All right. Thank you, Mark. And I will now ask Tony Quintero to speak. Tony, once we have a 2-minute clock, you can unmute.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. I went to San Jose State. I taught in the graduate program. I taught in law schools, 3 different ones in California. And I've been a long-time resident of San Jose, as well as I, at one time, had a commercial real estate business. But what I'm trying to get through, and I think it's very important, is that this commission understand that this is a cultural issue. And our history and our culture have been so maligned that we need you to help us. We need you to join in recognizing the pride we have in some of the cultural things our young people have done. And it's not just young people anymore. Guys like myself still get involved with the lowrider culture. And I think it's very important for our young people to understand how we were leaders in this movement, which is still here. And for the city to take a real role in improving the participation of our culture in the city. There's been so many disappointments for us, and where we've seen other people respected and honored, and our heroes have been totally ignored. And this has gone on for the history of Latinos here in California. I think the city of San Jose has a tremendous opportunity to make a statement here and to show their commitment to all the people and the people of all cultures. And that's what I think needs to be recognized as an important issue here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tony. We've come to the end of the public. Is there anyone else? Oh, we have another person with their hand up. Angela. I can't read the entire last name, so Angela, go ahead when you see it's 2 o'clock. Oh, yeah, you may begin speaking.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Chair and Vice Chair and Commissioners. I'm just going to kind of beat a dead horse and repeat what everyone said. My name is Angela Herring. I'm a parent and an advocate. I'm a champion for all things Bay Area because I was born and raised in the Bay Area. And I'm an ally of the Sacramento Lowrider Commission. And so I just also want to advocate for 282 Willow Street in San Jose. And I'm appreciative that it's on the list and listed as a historic resource. The building is significant because of the history that was created within those walls. The foundation of the Lowrider magazine was established at this location with the intentions to educate, inform, and share what was going on in the community locally, socially, and culturally, while highlighting the beauty of lowriders. The Lowrider magazine carried a major significance in the city of San Jose. The alumni students of San Jose State, the Latin community, specifically the Chicano community, the African American community, the Bay Area, and the Lowrider community. The Lowrider magazine was essential monthly visual that was enjoyed by numerous generations. So I think it's an honor and a privilege to recognize this building and for it to be a part of San Jose history and culture. It will be here for future generations to learn from, and I believe it starts right now. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Angela. Is there anyone else? I see another hand. South Bay Visions.
Hello, everyone. My name is Steven Martinez, also known as South Bay Visions. I was born on the east side of San Jose. I'm a photographer, a local photographer here in the area. One of my main goals in the community is to document the rich cultural history of lowriding here in San Jose. I'm also a board member of the United Lowrider Council of San Jose. One of the biggest missions we do is, make sure that we document this history and, let others know about it. So I'm speaking today to advocate for the property at 282 Willow Street, to making the original Lowrider magazine headquarters be recognized as a historical landmark. It's important that we recognize the historical impact that Lowrider magazine has had all across the globe. But yeah, thank you for your time. Please consider making this a historical landmark.
Thank you. I will now close public comment. I do not see any more hands. And so with that, we can go to our next item, which in the process, which is to go into closing comments and or possible motion to this particular item on our agenda, which is item 5A. And we can go through and ask for comments or if there is a motion to be had. So let's go through the commission. Commissioner Camuso, do you have a comment? Any further comments?
I have no further comments. I once again thrilled with this list, and it was so great to hear from so many of the lowrider community members on the wonderful little building on Willow Street, which again I've known all my life. I had no idea what the significance of that building was. As a passionate, longtime car collector myself, I'm just thrilled that it is being recognized because of that purpose, and it's wonderful.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Vice Chair Rainsford.
Yeah, likewise, I was very pleased to see the outpouring of support for the Lowrider building, and I just have a comment about that whole district. And the church is kind of part of that. It's a really interesting part of San Jose. It almost has the feeling of a separate village almost when you go through it. So it's really, I think, something to pay attention to in the future. Whether it becomes a kind of conservation area or not, I don't know.
I would encourage you, if you have a building that you wanted to, restore and reuse, that you might want to look at our programs that we have for financial incentives. And there are some. So please check those out. Talk to Dana. She might be able to help you on some of those. In any case, is there a motion out there that we want to approve the recommendation for 5A? Go ahead. Okay, Commissioner Jenke.
I was going to say so moved, but if there is a motion, I'll second it.
Well, you go ahead and make it, and then I'll ask for a second. Second?
Second.
Okay, good. We have a vice chair second, and Commissioner Jenke has moved to approve the recommendation as written in the agenda, and I'm not going to read it all, to add the following properties to the city's San Jose Historic Resources Inventory as identified structures. Again, we have a motion in a second, so I'm going to ask for any further discussion. Hearing none, we're going to go to the vote. And I will start with Commissioner Camuso.
Yes.
Okay, Commissioner Camuso votes yes. Commissioner Arnold.
Commissioner Arnold, I approve.
And Commissioner Jenke.
I approve. Thank you.
Okay, and Vice Chair Rainsford.
I approve as well.
And Chair Boehm, I approve. So it is unanimous. For the fourth month in a row, we've added properties to the Historic Resources Inventory, and we are in great gratitude. We owe you big time. I want to thank both Robert Manford as well as Dana Peak for their work on it.